The galaxy was full of fear. Across countless stars, people whispered the same name: the beasts. They were not soldiers, not armies, but living storms of destruction. Claws sharper than steel, bodies larger than ships, and eyes that glowed like fire. No empire could resist them. Entire planets had burned because of their endless hunger. On a dark, frozen moon, one of the beasts stood over the ruins of a city. Its voice rumbled like thunder. "They call themselves warriors," it growled, lifting a crushed alien soldier in its claw. "But they are nothing but food." The smaller beasts laughed, their sharp teeth shining. They believed nothing in the galaxy could stand against them. Nothing had ever survived their hunt. But then a signal came. It was faint, almost lost in the static of the stars. A simple transmission, carrying only strange sounds. A heartbeat, a roar, and then silence. The leader of the beasts tilted his head. "What is this world that dares to send such a challenge?" The others gathered, listening to the sound again. The heartbeat was fast, powerful. The roar echoed like a storm. One of them snarled, "A new prey. We will crush it. We will tear its world apart." The leader's eyes glowed brighter. "Yes, let us see this little planet." The stars stretched as their ships moved toward the source of the signal. The blue planet came into view, small, shining in the dark like a lonely jewel. The beasts surrounded it, studying its oceans, forests, and deserts. "This place is weak." One beast laughed. "Water and dirt, nothing more." But the leader raised his claw. "Do not laugh too quickly. Every world hides something, and this one, I feel something watching us already." A silence fell. For the first time in centuries, the beasts felt a shadow of unease. They descended into a vast jungle. The air was heavy, full of buzzing insects and the cries of hidden animals. The ground shook under their weight as they walked between the trees. "This place smells of predators," one beast said, licking the air with its tongue. "But they are small. They will be no match for us." From the shadows, yellow eyes glimmered. A panther moved silently through the grass, circling them. A crocodile slipped into the river, waiting. Far above, birds screamed warnings into the sky. The beasts did not care. They crushed trees under their feet and roared with laughter. Suddenly a low growl came from behind them. A striped figure stepped out of the dark, muscles rippling, eyes burning with hunger. A tiger. One beast bent down, amused. "This is their strongest hunter? A cat?" The tiger leapt with lightning speed, its claws sinking into the beast's face. The giant roared in pain, stumbling back. Blood splashed across the leaves. The others froze. For the first time in their lives, they saw one of their own bleed from a creature so small. Another beast snarled, "Kill it!" But before they could strike, the jungle exploded with movement. Wolves rushed from the shadows, snakes slithered through the grass, and crocodiles lunged from the river. Every predator in the jungle attacked at once, like the planet itself was fighting back. The beasts swung their claws, crushing trees and snapping jaws, but the animals kept coming. Teeth sank into their legs, wings blinded their eyes, venom burned. In their wounds, one beast screamed, "This world is alive, it is fighting us." The leader crushed a crocodile under his claw, but his eyes burned with something strange, fear. They pulled back, roaring into the sky, driving the animals away with fire and sound. The jungle grew quiet again, but the silence was heavy. The beasts looked at each other. "They should be weak," one whispered, "but they are not. Even the smallest creatures here fight like demons." The leader did not answer at once. He lifted his blood-stained claw and stared at it. "This world is no prey," he said at last. "This world is a nest of monsters." A chill spread among the beasts. For the first time in centuries, they realized they might not be the hunters anymore. High above, in the dark sky, the stars watched silently. And somewhere deep in the forests of Earth, unseen eyes watched too, waiting, studying, preparing. The beasts had come to conquer. But Earth had its own monsters, and they were only beginning to wake. The ships of the beasts tore through the night sky like burning comets. The people of Earth did not see them. They moved too high, cloaked in shadows. The beasts looked down on the blue planet, studying the forests, deserts, mountains, and oceans. "This world is full of life," one of them growled. "So much prey. We can feed for centuries." Another licked its teeth. "We will break them all. This world will learn fear." The leader remained silent, his glowing eyes fixed on the moving clouds. The memory of the jungle still haunted him, the tiger's claws, the crocodile's teeth, the endless swarm of predators. His body still carried the marks of those fights. "This planet hides something," he muttered. "I feel it in the air. We must not underestimate it." The others laughed. "You grow soft. We are the galaxy's hunters. No animal, no creature, no world can resist us." But their laughter felt thin, like smoke in the wind. They landed in a wide plain where tall grass waved in the wind. The moonlight lit the ground in silver, and herds of animals moved in the distance. Zebras, gazelles, rhinos. The beasts stood tall among them, their shadows covering the land. One beast laughed. "Look at them! They run from us already." The herd of zebras scattered, but a massive shape remained. A rhinoceros stood its ground, its horn shining in the pale light. It pawed the earth, snorting. "Another toy," the beast sneered. It raised its claw to strike. The rhino charged with thunder in its steps. Its horn pierced into the beast's side, throwing the giant back with shocking force. The others roared, stunned by the speed and strength of something so small. The wounded beast screamed, swinging its claws, but the rhino pulled away and charged again. Dust filled the air as other rhinos joined, horns slamming into the alien hunters. "They fight without fear," one beast shouted, stumbling. The leader roared back. "This world is not prey, it is a battlefield." At the edge of the plain, a different kind of predator watched. The humans. Farmers had seen strange lights in the sky and came with flashlights and rifles. They were simple men, not soldiers, but their eyes widened as they saw the massive shadows moving through the grass. What are those things?" one whispered. "Monsters," another breathed. "They're not from here." The beasts turned their glowing eyes toward the humans. They expected screams, panic, begging, but instead, the humans raised their weapons. One fired. The bullet struck a beast's eye, and it howled, clutching its face. The humans did not run. They reloaded and fired again, their shots cracking through the night. The beasts were shocked. No species had ever fought back so quickly. Most fell to their knees, begged for mercy, but these tiny creatures stood against giants without fear. "Enough!" a beast roared. It raised its massive arm, ready to crush them. The leader stopped. "Him? No. Watch them. Do you see their eyes? They do not see themselves as prey." The humans, outnumbered and outmatched, still shouted to each other with steady voices. "Hold the line! Keep firing! Don't let them near the village." The beasts felt something cold. It was not the bullets that chilled them. It was the courage of these fragile creatures. As dawn approached, the beasts pulled back into the shadows. The humans stood among the grass, tired but unbroken. The wounded beast snarled. "Why did we retreat? We could have destroyed them." The leader's eyes burned like fire. "You fool! Did you not feel it? These humans are not prey. They are predators who walk upright. They are warriors, born from struggle." The others muttered in disbelief. "They are small. They are weak. Their flesh tears easily." The leader growled. "Yet they fight, they bleed, and they keep standing. They do not run. That makes them dangerous." A silence fell among the hunters. High above Earth, inside their great ships, the beasts gathered again. They played the sounds they had recorded, the gunfire, the human voices shouting, the rhinos charging, the heartbeat of the tiger. One beast shivered. This world is cursed. It is filled with killers of every kind. Another growled in denial. We are the galaxy's hunters! We will break them! The leader leaned forward. His eyes glowed brighter than the stars. You do not understand. We came here to conquer, but I tell you now, if we are not careful, this world will conquer us. The others went silent. The truth was too heavy to ignore. And down on the planet, in the rising sun, the humans returned to their homes, unaware that the most feared creatures in the galaxy had looked into their eyes and felt fear. The hunt had begun. But this time, the hunters were not sure who the real prey was. The beasts moved deeper into Earth's wild lands. They wanted proof that this planet was truly as dangerous as it seemed. The leader's wounds from the tiger and the rhino still burned, but pride pushed them forward. This world tests us, one beast muttered, but soon it will kneel. The leader growled in return. Do not mistake survival for weakness. Watch the land. Watch carefully. They entered a vast jungle thick with vines and shadows. The air was heavy, carrying the sounds of birds and insects. The beasts crushed the undergrowth beneath their feet as they marched, their eyes glowing in the darkness. Too quiet, one whispered. Something is waiting. A sudden roar split the silence. From the trees, a massive crocodile lunged. Jaws snapping, it clamped onto a beast's leg, teeth sinking deep. The beast roared in pain, thrashing wildly, but more crocodiles slithered from the river. Attack! The leader shouted. The jungle came alive. Snakes dropped from branches, sinking fangs into alien flesh. Packs of wolves moved like shadows, striking and vanishing. A swarm of bats clouded the air, scratching at their glowing eyes. The beasts fought back with claws and fire, but the jungle did not stop. One beast staggered, his arm dripping venom. This world, it fights as one. The animals are not prey. They are an army! Another screamed as a tiger leapt from above, ripping into its throat. The leader swung his massive claws, tearing the tiger away. Blood covered the trees. His eyes burned with fury, but also with something darker, fear. We came to hunt, he growled. But this land hunts us. From a nearby hill, hidden in the trees, a group of humans watched. They were explorers. Armed with cameras, rifles and radios, they had tracked the strange lights in the sky, and what they now saw froze their blood. My God, one whispered. Those aren't animals. They're monsters. Another lifted his camera with shaking hands. Keep filming. The world needs to see this. The beasts noticed movement on the hill. Their glowing eyes narrowed. More prey, one hissed. Not beasts this time. Small ones, weak ones. The leader raised his claw. No, look at them. They stand even while watching us destroy their forest. They do not run. One beast grinned. Then let us test them. The ground shook as two beasts charged toward the humans. Trees splintered in their path. The humans panicked, firing their rifles, the sound echoing through the jungle. Bullets ripped into alien flesh. One beast staggered, roaring in rage. Keep shooting! The leader of the humans yelled. The explorers fought with desperation. A well-aimed shot struck a beast's glowing eye, making it howl in pain. The humans moved as a team, covering each other, reloading quickly, shouting warnings. They're not running, one beast growled, clutching its bleeding face. They fight like hunters. Another swung its claws, smashing the ground, but the humans scattered with speed, hiding behind rocks and trees. One explorer pulled out a flare gun and fired into the sky. The burning light exploded overhead, turning night into day. The beasts hissed, blinded. Fall back, shouted the human leader. Draw them to the traps. The group retreated into the jungle, leading the towering creatures into a narrow path. Hidden wires and spikes set earlier for wild animals now stood ready. As the beasts charged, one was caught in a snare, pulled off balance. Another stumbled into sharpened stakes that pierced its leg. The creatures howled in fury, thrashing. They planned this, the leader of the beasts realized. These humans, they think like predators. The battle raged until dawn. When the sun rose, the beasts pulled back, their bodies torn and burned. The humans, though shaken and exhausted, still stood on their hill, weapons raised. The jungle was quiet now. The animals had retreated, leaving only silence and blood. One beast snarled at the leader. "Why do we not crush them? Why do we not burn this world and be done?" The leader turned slowly, his eyes glowing with something heavier than rage. "Because," he said, his voice low, "this world is different. Every creature fights to live. Even the smallest claw, the smallest tooth, carries the spirit of a killer. And these humans, they are the worst of all." The others stared at him, confused. "They are fragile," one argued. "We break them easily." The leader growled. "Yes, but they rise again. They bleed and still fight. They plan. They hunt. They trap. They are monsters hiding in skin." Silence fell. The beasts had never spoken of fear, but now, though they would not admit it, each of them felt it. On the hill, the human explorers stared at the fading shadows of the beasts. "Did you see that?" one whispered. "They bled. They can be hurt." Another nodded, breathing hard. "But we barely survived. If they come in numbers," the leader of the group looked at the rising sun, "then the world must prepare, because these things, they won't stop." Far in the sky, the ships of the beasts glowed like red scars above the earth. They had come for prey, but now they understood. This planet was not weak. The jungle whispered with the sound of unseen hunters. The beasts had entered the heart of Earth's wildness, and they had discovered a truth that chilled even their monstrous hearts. The hunt was no longer theirs. The beasts retreated to their ships, their bodies scarred from Earth's forests and rivers. They had bled. They had been bitten, burned, and trapped. But what unsettled them most was not the animals. It was the humans. Inside the dark chamber of their ship, the leader stood before the others. His glowing eyes burned like fire. "You saw them," he growled. "Fragile, small, and yet they fought like predators. They did not run. They did not bow. They made traps, and they drew blood from us." One beast snarled, "They are insects. A few bullets, a few tricks. They cannot defeat us." The leader struck the ground with his claw, the sound echoing. "You are blind. Did you not hear their voices? Did you not see their eyes? These humans are not prey. They are killers who wear the skin of weak creatures." The chamber grew silent. Even the most arrogant of the beasts remembered the sting of bullets, the burning flare, the steady shouts of men who refused to kneel. Far below on Earth, the humans gathered in secret. The explorers who had faced the beasts shared their story with others, soldiers, scientists, and leaders. "They came from the sky," one explorer said, his voice shaking. "Monsters larger than houses. But they bled. They can be hurt." A soldier leaned forward. "If they bleed, we can kill them." Scientists frowned. "Not easily. Their bodies resist bullets, their skin heals, but we must prepare, because they will come back." The humans understood one thing. Earth had been marked. The beasts would not stop. The beasts did not wait long. Days later, they moved again, this time closer to human cities. They wanted to study this strange species that dared to fight back from the shadows. They watched as humans built machines that moved on wheels and tracks, machines that roared louder than lions. They watched as humans fired weapons that shook the ground, weapons that spat fire across miles. "What are these?" one beast whispered, staring at tanks rolling through a desert. The leader's eyes narrowed. "War machines, made by creatures who already kill their own kind. They fight not just to live, but to dominate," another beast hissed. "But why would they fight each other? They are one species." The leader's voice rumbled like thunder. Because they are monsters, they do not need outsiders to bring war. They are born with it. That night, the beasts moved into a city cloaked by shadows. Towering buildings rose like mountains of glass and steel. Lights flickered and voices filled the streets. Humans crowded together, unaware of the giants moving above. One beast crouched low, peering into a window. Inside, humans sat around a screen, watching images of war, explosions, tanks, soldiers, fire. The beast tilted its head. They watch. Their own battles for pleasure, another growled. They study killing, they worship it. Suddenly sirens wailed, lights turned red. The humans in the building ran for cover. Soldiers poured into the streets, weapons raised. They found us, one beast hissed. The humans did not scream or beg. They aimed missiles and opened fire. The streets shook with thunder. Explosions lit the night, tearing chunks from alien flesh. The beasts roared, smashing buildings, but the humans kept coming. Helicopters rose into the sky, raining fire. Tanks rolled forward, their cannons flashing. These creatures, one beast shouted over the chaos. They fight us like they've fought this war 1,000 times. The leader swung his claws, smashing a tank in half. But his glowing eyes narrowed as he looked at the humans, moving in teams, never breaking formation. They have fought this war 1,000 times, he growled, against each other. This is nothing new to them. In the middle of the battle, one soldier stood, tall, his voice carrying over the noise. Push them back, aim for the eyes. The beasts staggered as shots struck true. One fell screaming, its body crashing into the street. Another beast turned to the leader, panic in its voice. They killed one of us. No world has ever done this, the leader roared, his voice shaking the ground. Then learn, fools, this planet is no hunting ground. It is a nightmare. The beasts fought harder, but the humans did not give up. Even when soldiers fell, others replaced them. Even when buildings crumbled, the humans regrouped. At last, the leader ordered retreat. The surviving beasts leapt back into the shadows, their bodies smoking from fire and steel. On the rooftops, the humans stood in silence, watching the giants disappear. Smoke rose over the city, the air heavy with fire and dust. One soldier lowered his weapon. We hurt them. We made them bleed, but they'll be back. Another nodded grimly. Next time, they'll come with everything. The leader of the squad looked at the horizon, his face hard. Then we'll be ready, because if they think humans are prey, they will learn the truth. High above, inside their ship, the beasts gathered once more. One of them trembled with rage. We should have destroyed them. How can these fragile creatures fight like this? The leader's voice was low but sharp. Because they are not fragile. Their weapons, their wars, their hunger for power. These humans are the monsters we feared were only myths. They do not kneel, they rise. Silence filled the chamber. The beasts, who once believed they ruled the galaxy, now felt something they had not known for centuries, doubt. And deep inside that doubt grew something worse, fear. The world was awake now. The first battles had shown the truth. Earth was no longer hidden, and the beasts were no longer unseen. Cities prepared for war. Soldiers dug trenches, tanks rolled into position, and aircraft circled the skies. The beasts circled above in their dark ships, watching the humans gather like ants around a fire. One beast growled. They know we are coming. Still they stand. Still they raise their weapons. Another sneered. Let them. Their machines cannot stop us. Their fire cannot burn us. The leader remained silent, his glowing eyes fixed on the human armies below. He had seen too much to laugh anymore. They are waiting for us, he said finally. And I fear what comes next. That night, the beasts descended on a battlefield of open plains. Hundreds of soldiers stood ready, their weapons pointed toward the stars. Tanks lined the hills, and the deep hum of aircraft echoed in the distance. A young soldier adjusted his helmet, his voice low. Do you think we can stop them? His commander's eyes stayed locked on the dark sky. We don't need to stop them. We just need to show them we will never kneel. The air shook. The ground trembled. The beasts landed, their massive forms rising taller than the tanks themselves. Their roars split the night. One beast stepped forward, raising its claws. "Bow," it thundered. "Bow to us and live." The humans did not move. Their commander shouted, his voice carrying over the wind. "Open fire!" The earth exploded with sound. Cannons roared, missiles streaked. Across the sky, rifles cracked in unison. The beasts charged, the ground quaking beneath them. The battle was chaos. A tank was torn apart by claws. Soldiers were thrown into the air. Explosions lit the night like firestorms, but the humans fought with order, with strategy. Left flank, fire. Snipers, aim for the eyes. Keep the artillery steady. For every soldier that fell, another took his place. For every tank destroyed, 2 more fired in return. One beast slammed into the front lines, roaring as bullets tore into its chest. A sniper hidden in the hills steadied his rifle. His hands shook, but his voice was calm. "Come on! Just one shot." The beast lifted its head, its glowing eyes searching for prey. The sniper exhaled slowly and pulled the trigger. The bullet struck clean through the beast's eye. It screamed, collapsing with a crash that shook the ground. Cheers erupted from the soldiers. "They can die. We can kill them." The beasts froze. For the first time in centuries, they had watched one of their kind fall to a species they thought weak. Rage filled the battlefield. The beasts attacked with greater fury, smashing tanks, tearing apart defenses. But the humans adapted quickly, striking back with missiles, grenades, and sniper fire. Another beast fell, its body torn by explosives. The leader of the beasts roared at his army. Fall back now!" They pulled away, retreating into the shadows of the night. The battlefield was scarred, littered with fire and steel, but the humans still stood, bloodied yet unbroken. In the silence that followed, the young soldier looked at his commander. His face was pale, his uniform stained with dust and smoke. Did we win? The commander shook his head slowly. "No, this was only the beginning, but tonight we showed them something they have never seen before." "What's that?" The soldier whispered. The commander's eyes hardened. Fear! High above, inside their ship, the beasts gathered around the leader. Their voices were full of rage and disbelief. "They killed 2 of us," one shouted. "No world has ever done this," another roared. "They are nothing. They must be crushed." The leader's voice silenced them all. "You do not understand. These humans are not like others. They are not prey. They are predators who hunt as one. They bleed, they burn, but they rise again. Even when death surrounds them, they fight." He raised his claw, still stained with human blood. "This world will not kneel. If we are not careful, this world will break us." Down on Earth, the humans buried their dead. The survivors stood tall, their eyes fixed on the horizon. They knew the beasts would return. They knew the war was far from over, but they also knew something else now. The galaxy's hunters could bleed, the galaxy's monsters could fall, and that truth changed everything. The galaxy's deadliest hunters had been forced to retreat. For the first time in their long history, the beasts had bled at the hands of prey. Their ships hid in Earth's orbit, cloaked in shadow. Inside the largest vessel, silence ruled. The leader stood tall, his glowing eyes fixed on the blue planet below. His body carried wounds that refused to heal. His mind carried something worse than pain. Doubt. The others surrounded him, restless and angry. "We are the strongest in the stars," one roared. "How can this fragile world resist us?" Another pounded the ground with its claw. "We should burn it, burn the forests, burn the cities, burn every creature until nothing remains." The leader raised his head slowly. "And yet, even if we burn it, even if we crush it, will it matter? Did you not see? Did you not feel it? This planet is not weak. It breeds monsters greater than us." The chamber grew silent. The word monsters had never been spoken of another species before. Down below, Earth was not celebrating. Cities were scarred, smoke rose from battlefields, graves were dug for the fallen, but the humans did not bow their heads in despair. They worked, they rebuilt, they prepared. In an underground base, soldiers and scientists met in a dim-lit hall. "They retreated," one general said, "but they will return." A scientist stepped forward, placing strange alien metal on the table. It still pulsed with energy, torn from the body of a fallen beast. "We have their blood now, their armor, their weapons. We can study them. We can learn how to kill them faster." A soldier clenched his fist. "They thought we were prey. Let's show them what predators can do." The beasts came again, but not in silence. This time the skies burned red as their ships descended in full force. The ground shook across continents. Their roars echoed like storms. One beast bellowed to the humans below, "This world will end. You cannot fight us all." The humans answered not with words, but with fire. Missiles streaked into the sky. Tanks thundered across the land. Jets screamed overhead. The battle was apocalyptic, skies lit with explosions. Oceans boiled as ships clashed. Mountains shook with the roars of creatures not of this earth. But the humans did not fight alone. Nature itself rose again. Whales struck from the seas, tearing into the beasts near the coasts. Packs of wolves swarmed in the forests, snapping at alien legs. Eagles blinded them from the skies, and from the dark rivers came crocodiles striking. With impossible force, it was as if the planet itself had joined the war. In the chaos, the leader of the beasts faced a squad of human soldiers. He towered over them, his claws dripping, his teeth shining. "Why do you fight?" he demanded, his voice shaking the air. "You are small, fragile, weak. Why do you not kneel?" A human sniper, hidden among the ruins, answered with a single shot. The bullet struck the leader's chest. He staggered, snarling, but did not fall. The commander of the squad shouted back, his voice full of fire, "Because we are human, and on this world, survival makes monsters out of all of us." The words struck deeper than the bullet. For a moment, the leader's glowing eyes dimmed. Hours of blood and fire followed. Beasts fell, their bodies crashing into cities. Humans died in thousands, but still they stood. The ground was torn. The sky burned and rivers ran red. At last, the leader of the beasts stood on a hill, his army broken behind him. His chest rose and fell with heavy breaths. His eyes stared across the battlefield, where humans still stood in lines, weapons ready, their faces covered in dust and blood. "They do not stop," one beast whispered, crawling on broken limbs. "They are endless." The leader's voice was low, almost like a whisper to himself. "No, they are not endless. They are simply unwilling to kneel, and that makes them greater monsters than us." The beasts retreated for the final time, vanishing into the stars. The humans watched them go, their weapons still raised, their hearts still burning. In the silence that followed, one soldier spoke softly. "Did we win?" The commander looked at the sky where the stars glimmered like 1,000 watching eyes. "We survived," he said. "And survival is the only victory that matters." High above, inside the dark ship, the leader gave his last command. "Mark this world," he growled, "not as prey, not as a target, but as a warning." The others lowered their heads. "What warning?" one asked. The leader's glowing eyes dimmed with something close to fear. "That here, on this small blue planet, monsters greater than us walk in human skin." The ship vanished into the void, leaving Earth scarred but unbroken. The galaxy's deadliest hunters had discovered the truth. Earth was no hunting ground. It was a nightmare where survival forged killers. And in the quiet after war, the world whispered one truth that would echo across the stars. The galaxy's monsters had found their match, and they would never return.